I'm aware that many of you have expressed a desire for online counseling, and to that effect, we have a sponsor who will help you and assist you in that respect. So if you will, go beneath the video, you'll find a link to our online counseling sponsor. They have a whole team of counselors that can help you. Practice self-care, get the help that you need. I'm very aware that a high percentage of you watching this video have had great difficulty because of interactions with narcissistic individuals, and those people can make life miserable for you in many ways. And I know that there are times when you may think to yourself, I so hate the influence that person has had on my life. What am I going to do so that I can shake whatever it is that they're trying to throw at me and not be ruined by this? Well, I have a good idea for you today. And I want you to hear my heart, because what I'm wanting to do, even as I empathize and sympathize with some of the strains that you've been with, I want you to decide, I'm going to watch and see what these individuals do with their life, and I'm going in a different direction. One of the words that we could use to describe a narcissist is the word immaturity. They're highly immature. They're very self-absorbed. They haven't really learned to get outside of themselves by investing themselves in other individuals. They're easily emotionally dysregulated. They have all these cravings and impulses that they just can't seem to contain. And I'm hoping you can say, I can do better. I need to do better. And so even as they have created difficulties, I'm hoping that you can have the motivation that says, I'm going to draw upon some insights that I have about the narcissistic pattern, and I'm going to go in the much better, more mature way. Now, to that extent, what I'd like to do is I'd like to give us a compare and contrast for 7 different ingredients, 7 different ways that mature people differ from narcissists. So you with me on that? All right, let's go with that. The first characteristic I want to focus on is mature individuals are able to grapple with truth. They're able to come to terms with things that may not necessarily fit their paradigm, and yet there it is, pleasant or unpleasant. There are times when things don't go according to plans, or people disappoint, or you made a miscalculation. Healthy people will say, well, let's be objective. Let's put it all out there on the table and let's discuss what all this means. I'm willing to take responsibility if I need to make adjustments. We can do that and we can move forward. They can come to terms with truth. One of the things that we know about narcissists as a contrast is they operate with a sense of the false self. They're constantly about keeping a certain image up, and if something comes along that they don't like and it's a truth, it's like, well, let's rearrange our thoughts about what that truth is then. And so they go with what we call alternate reality. They can't be honest about their mistakes, or they become enraged when things don't go well according to their plans. And rather than saying, well, I'm just going to come to terms with what is, they have no objectivity regarding that. They're deeply subjectively driven, and as a result, they stay emotionally dysregulated. A second way that we can contrast mature people from the narcissist is mature people have a high degree of acceptance of oneself and acceptance of others. And this means in both the pluses and the minuses. If I, for example, make a mistake, well, I can still accept me. If you make a mistake, I can accept you. If I have strengths, if you have strengths, I have a good acceptance and appreciation for that. There's just a sense that says, why don't we realize that there are certain aspects about humanity that just are there, and rather than playing the coulda, woulda, shoulda game, or having all these idealisms that just are going to take us to a lot of disappointment, we're going to say, let's accept life for what it is. It's a mixture of good and bad. Narcissists, they're not accepting people at all. One of the things that they do is it's like, if something doesn't go according to my standards, I don't accept that. I'm going to condemn you. They have a lot of shame that they engage with others with. They hold others in contempt. And actually you can see that much of that is a projection of their own shame of their humanity, because they have to keep their humanity hidden. They don't want to admit any of that. These individuals cannot and will not show acceptance toward you because they don't have an acceptance of the real self that's on the inside. Healthy people, it's like, no, let's let acceptance be something that's just natural in the way that we engage with each other. Doesn't mean condoning, it just means I accept things as they are. A third way that mature people differ from the narcissist is healthy, mature individuals have a strong sense of autonomy. Now, by that, I mean they have a good set of standards and principles and values, and they don't just kind of go with the wind or the prevailing mood of the moment. Narcissistic individuals don't have that sense of autonomy. Now, they're stubborn. They'll say they have principles, but what it means is they just have an agenda that they want to fit everybody into. And if they have to believe a certain way today in order to get their way, they'll do that. If they have to shift their preferences or beliefs or interpretations the next way to get their way, they'll do that. They don't really have that sense of loyalty that says, I know who I am from the inside out, and I'm going to live in a very consistent way day in and day out. Whereas the autonomous, mature, healthy person says, I'm not into the mood of the moment. I know who I am, and I'm going to live in it in a consistent kind of way. A fourth way that mature people differentiate from the narcissist is they have strong feelings of appreciation. Appreciation is a very common thing that mature people have. I mean, it can be something as simple as somebody did you a favor and you're very grateful. The simple things in life that come along. I had a nice meal today. I have a good roof over my head. I have nice friends. I've got a good car. I have water that works. I appreciate a sunset. I like playing cards and games with my nieces and nephews. All of that. Narcissists are not very appreciative. They have such a strong attitude of entitlement. It's like, well, what have you done for me today? And what are you going to give me tomorrow? And rather than just being able to say, in the moment, it's like, no. There's just an attitude that says, you're probably not going to meet my standards. And if you do, well, I deserved it. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. So they operate with a strong attitude of criticism. A fifth ingredient that differentiates the mature person from the narcissist is mature people are invested in the rest of humanity. You know, we all are interconnected, and mature individuals will say, you know, you have a backstory just as I have a backstory. And so they emphasize empathy. I want to know who you are. I want to know what that backstory is. I want to know the reasons for why you feel as you do so that I can engage with you in a fuller way. And they carry that kind of mindset just in a natural way. Whereas the narcissist is not invested in the rest of humanity. The narcissist is invested in me, self-absorption, and their self-promotion. Do you know who I am? And do you know how you're supposed to do things to make me feel better? What are you going to do for me next? And as a result, their investment in humanity is only on a transactional basis. If you can do something for me, okay, I'm invested. If not, get out of here. That's the way they think. A sixth way that we differentiate the mature from the narcissist is mature individuals are truly loyal and reliable. When a mature person says, I'm with you and I'm going to follow through, it means I'm with you and I'm going to follow through. Their word is their bond. In close relationships and friendships, they're defined by having strong ethics. They operate with the old golden rule, do to others as you would want them to do to you. That sense of loyalty and reliability is just built into their character. Whereas the narcissist is loyal to self. It's like, I want immediate gratification, and if you're somebody that can help me with that, okay, I'd like to keep you around. If not, you're just nothing more than somebody that I can use and then toss away. Their loyalties are very shallow at best. And then let's say a seventh way that we can distinguish the mature from the narcissist is mature individuals are constantly eager to learn. They are willing to adapt. They're not static. They're constantly in a growth mode. I'm in my 60s, and I can tell you that the way I think now is not the same as when I was in my 20s and 30s, and that's not that I was in a bad place there, but as you grow and as you age, your understanding of things grows and matures as well, and there's a sense that says, I like having fuller perspectives, and the more experiences you have that can turn into a sense of wisdom. Narcissists are very black and white, all or nothing. Hey, look, I already know everything I need to know. You don't need to tell me anything. And sure enough, you're not going to tell them much because they have such a tight and strong defense structure. And so they don't grow. In fact, if anything, they just regress. So with that healthy, mature person, the narcissistic ingredients are just don't have a good place in their life. That need to control others, that self-absorption, the entitlement, the chronic sense of one-upmanship, the lack of empathy. So I'm hoping that you can be a pensive person, and as you observe these individuals who just keep coming at you with maturity, I'm hoping you can say, I'm on to it, I see it for what it is, I can do better. I want to be a difference maker. That narcissist may never join you, but at the same time, I'm hoping there are going to be enough of us that says, but I understand the difference between maturity and narcissism. Sign me up for Team Healthy. I'm in there all the way, and I just want my knowledge and my wisdom to expand every year that goes by. Join me on that, will you? I hope that videos such as this give you some good food for thought and some stimulation in your own personal growth. If you've not already done so, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button and join us as more videos come along. If you have a need for counseling, I know that many of you could use somebody that could help you objectify this and get some good direction in terms of how to make this very real in your life. I would encourage you to seek someone in your area, or if you would prefer, we have a sponsor that can take you to a whole team of online counselors, licensed and professional and experienced, and we've had good feedback from that. We have a link below that would take you to the online counseling. In addition, I have my courses. This is Me, which describes how to have boundaries with the controllers in your life. And then the other one, Free to Be, which is all about finding yourself despite the controllers in your life. And it's a course. It has many videos and worksheets and questions and all that go along with it. And I hope you would find that to be very therapeutic if that's something you would like to look into. In addition, we have my books, we have our webinars, and we have links below to all of that. So just know that I appreciate being on the journey with you, and I would hope you take advantage of our resources. All right, I'm hoping that you can be one of the ones that says, I'm committed to being that healthy individual. Watch what it looks like, and I'm going to take my experiences with that narcissist, and rather than stewing in the negatives that it creates, I'm going to use it as motivation that says, I'm going to be the better alternative. I want to be a person of steadiness, and I want to be a person of peace. That's what I'm going to do, and I want to be a giver of the same toward others.